I dub thee a nerdy knight of the round, sworn defenders of all who oppress the nerd. Now, on to the round table. Listen to what they say, for their words will guide you.
It's another nerdy night as my round table joins me, Ben, the Ridiculous Riddick, in the Great Hall of Hogwarts Castle. I will be your headmaster today. Joining me at my round table is Deputy Headmaster and Transfiguration Professor Sam Penn.
I have a wand.
Yes,
it might look like a chopstick, but it's a wand.
And sitting at the chair of the cursed position of Defense Against the Dark Arts, Professor Ben Lunsford. How's it going, Ben?
Going pretty good. A little nervous, but I think it's going to go okay.
There is nothing to be nervous about here. We're all friends. And you're among another Ben.
Yeah.
Which is, great.
Can we just talk about just how many beds there were at Extra Life?
Oh my god, there were so many Bens. So there was me, there was the guy who owned the store, and then there were like 5 little kids named Ben.
And then there were some Maxes, and that was even worse.
Yeah. Well, not many people on the stream know that my first name's Max, Sam. So
They do now.
yes, they do.
No,
Thanks for that.
I didn't even know that.
So we got a great show planned for you tonight, but before we get into that, I just want to mention you may notice that the stream looks a little different today, and that is courtesy of our wonderful, wonderful man in the tech booth, is what I'm going to call it, running the stream. You're going to be noticing over the next few weeks a lot of little changes that are hopefully all for the better. So bear with us while we might have some technical difficulties here and there. It's only to improve the quality that you guys consume.
By the way, the changes are not Ben is now brighter. That's just the light by his face.
I am brighter. Before we get into the regular show, though, let's talk about our active quests. For those of you new to the show, active quests is where we talk about the nerdy, crazy things we've been doing over the last week since last episode. And as always, I like to start with our guest, Ben. What have you been up to? You told me already, but I want the stream to know.
Well, basically, we'll get into it a little bit later because that'll be my topic. But ever since BlizzCon, I've been really interested in getting back into Heroes of the Storm. So I've been playing that a lot, trying to find people to play with, because going solo in the Nexus is not very fun. And then the other thing I started up recently was the Nexus is, where the heroes go in battle. So
I gotcha.
It's the store part. I get it.
yes. You go in there and you battle in the Nexus. The other thing I've been starting up and already 2 days behind is my daily drawing challenge to try to get back into drawing, because that's what I did for college. I got an art degree. So
Go art degrees.
yes.
I think I've seen some of those that you've posted.
Oh, I thought I thought you've seen some art degrees. I'm like, oh, that's good, Sam. I'm glad.
I've seen them on walls, occasionally on refrigerators.
And sometimes as the lining of a bird cage at the bottom to collect all the shit.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately. So that's cool, though. What kind of stuff do you like to draw, Ben?
I mainly like to paint, really oil paint, but I currently don't have a studio where I can actually delve into mixing paints and stuff. I used to in college. I would paint stuff that was like 4 foot wide by 6 foot wide by 4 foot, really huge kind of things. And that was a lot of fun, but I can't do that where I'm at or currently. So what I'm focusing on is I got actually a new Cintiq recently. So I'm doing
oh, you got it?
Computer. Yeah. I traded whatchamacallit, my old Xbox and Xbox One and my old PS4 to an old friend so that he can get on the new gen and I can get the Cintiq.
Nice.
That's a pretty good value.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on which size of the Cintiq.
It's a 12 WX or whatever. So I mean, it's fairly old. I could probably find it for like maybe 600. But I wasn't that big of a hit or anything, and I really wanted to get into play because I haven't played with him in ages.
So what you're saying is when you get your studio, though, I can commission a big 6 foot by 4 foot mural, Nerdy Nights related, and just hang it
Yeah.
in my living room, where my
Yeah.
wife would just absolutely love to see it every
It's gonna be
single
a picture of you falling on the sword because I would have paid Ben.
I actually, whatchamacallit? I'm looking into trying to do a kind of a triptych of all the raid bosses in Destiny that are like 9 foot tall, so that you get the feeling of the awe, you know.
And then you get the
behind it.
short. You get the short Crota.
Yep.
Short Crota.
Right.
Mini Crota. It's like,
Mini Crota.
Like, here you go, Atheon. No, mini Crota.
all right, Sam, how about you? What have you been up to?
So as I said a couple weeks ago, I am a Nielsen family now, and I just got my diaries when I was in California with Ben. So I started filling out, yeah, that Ben. And so I started filling out my TV diary this week, and I'll just tell you, it is really weird to write down everything you watch on TV. Like, I guess you don't realize just how much TV or how much time you're really spending watching different things. Like, I can't imagine if I was just taking a diary of like game consumption. Could you imagine how little? I feel like I would play a ton less Destiny if I just wrote down in a diary how long I was playing. Every time I'd be like, oh, I spent 4 hours on what? Fuck this, I'm done. So it's been kind of an interesting experience. And then you've got that power thing where you're like, oh man, like, do I want this show to stay on the air? I should probably write it down. Like, and then there's like different things for when you time shift versus when you watch live. And everyone knows I don't watch anything live, especially because I'm on the West Coast. So I'm like, download, watch before it airs here. It's just weird. I mean, like, have you guys ever like tried to keep track of something that you spend time on?
I mean, not in the same kind of sense that
8 hours, and then I get paid for 8 hours. Does that count?
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, with my job, Sam, that's what I have to do. I write very detailed notes about every single thing I did. Does that count? I mean,
now I know what it feels like to be you, except not at all in really any way. All right. So that's enough about me. Ben, what about you? What have you been up to this last week?
So this last week I've been recovering from Extra Life, realizing
Did the invisible snail get you, or the
invincible snail almost got me. I had to hire someone to drive him away somewhere so I could get a little extra time to myself. No, but I realized we gave away a bunch of stuff at Extra Life, but at the same time, we still have a bunch of stuff to give away. So what I've kind of decided that I'm going to do is over the next couple of weeks, I am going to be streaming Uncharted 3. I'm going to play at the crushing difficulty. I am going to try to raise some extra donations for Extra Life and give away some copies of Uncharted 3, copies of the art book, copies of Dev Diaries, and then the grand prize at the very end. Once I beat the game, I'll be giving away a collector's edition with the Nathan Drake statue and everything, which is really cool.
Can I just give a plug for them to donate like $43 to me? Because I'm about $43 from the t-shirt tier, and I really want a t-shirt. And I don't really want to spend $43, so I've been bugging like every friend I have.
Oh, jeez.
By the way, Ben, care to donate?
So one of the cool things that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to set up a page on our website, and essentially, if you donate X amount of dollars, I will switch to inverted and have to play until I get until I progress to the next level, or I'll have to, rather than shoot the next 5 enemies, melee the next 5 enemies, and I'll be playing on crushing. So you can only imagine how much fun I'm going to have with that. But
he's like, kill one enemy, die. Kill one enemy, die. I've died 5 times. Can I play normally yet?
So that's what I'm going to be doing, and then at the beginning of December, I'm going to do the first time that I've ever tried this. I am going to do 12 days of streaming in in honor of the holidays, where every single evening I will stream for 2 to 3 hours, different games, and it'll be a lot of fun.
It's like Hanukkah and Christmas all wrapped in one.
It so is. Except it's even better because you get to see me every day for 12 days.
Oh God! Can I donate to get you off the stream? Is that how this is going to work?
And the really cool thing is 2 of those days I will be at the PlayStation Experience. So I will be probably periscoping a bunch of stuff for that. So that's going to be kind of what I am doing. Thank you so much for asking, Sam. It's very nice of you.
It's like it was in the script or something.
There's no script here, Sam.
All right, whatever.
Okay, let's get into our first topic of the evening, and that first topic goes to our special guest, Ben Lunsford. Ben, what is your topic? Explain to us, please.
Well, my topic has to do with BlizzCon. I actually went there not this past weekend, but the weekend before, because that's when it happened, obviously.
Sounds cold.
Right.
It wasn't.
It wasn't, not compared to Minnesota. But whatchamacallit? For those that don't know what BlizzCon is, basically it is BlizzCon or Blizzard's big convention for the year. I believe it started back in like 2005. So this was like the 10th anniversary, I believe, if I remember correctly. So it's kind of a big deal. And they put on a lot of different. They have a lot of different stages for a lot of different of their games. They have 6 ones now, so it starts with their basic three, Warcraft, Diablo, Starcraft, but now they have Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, and coming out soon is Overwatch. So they have quite a lot of games. So there's a lot of content to see over the weekend.
Can I just throw out there? I'm kind of like, one of the things that I love about Blizzard is they have really good Mac support for their games. The beta is out for Overwatch, and I may have managed to get a beta key.
No,
Seriously?
But
I hate you a little bit right now.
But it's PC only.
Oh, I guess I don't hate you so much.
So weird.
Which
I feel like you should just be begging right now. That's how I feel like.
I
this
want
should
to,
be.
but I don't know how that would come off. I really want that key.
Well, for a $43 donation at nkrs.org/Sam.
we'll talk after the show about it, Ben. Maybe.
Ah, crap. I'm not
I'll hold
educator
you
on my account.
So that kind of bums me out. I've liked that I could actually get into some Blizzard games on the Mac, but this is one that sounds so interesting to me that I won't be able to play.
It is coming out. I don't know if the beta is coming out, but the actual game itself is coming out for both PS4 and Xbox One.
That's true.
So you can actually get the game at least if they don't release a Mac client for the PC side.
Okay, so I'm going to be a noob and say, what is the game format?
All right. So easy way to kind of explain it is has the feel of a shooter, but it also has a lot of the same like abilities and stuff like that you can find in like what a MOBA, like, which is like League of Legends or Heroes of the Storm, where you're constantly doing like basically any attack, a special attack, and there's actually a heroic too. So like basically it has the form of a brawler, an online MOBA kind of thing with but you're running around in first person. So it brings a lot of action into it, and a lot of different things you can do in a single match even. Does that answer?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think that was a very good description. I've never been to BlizzCon. It sounds like a lot of fun. What were like some of your favorite things that you saw there?
Definitely the stages were awe-inspiring. If you haven't seen it before, just Google the StarCraft stage. That was pretty epic. I think this year there was like 30 I want to say there were like 30 24K projectors all projecting onto the
Jesus.
stage. Yeah,
That is
big,
awesome.
right? That's
Might be a little excessive, but still awesome.
Yeah.
I do not know what you are talking about, sir.
Uh, but the stages were a lot of fun. I got to see Heroes of the Storm World Championship live, which kind of brought my interest back into the game itself.
Heroes of the Storm is a MOBA, right? I haven't actually played that one, but
I
I've
have
heard,
played it once, and I played it with Brain.
I've actually heard it's a pretty good MOBA if you haven't played a lot of MOBAs. Like it's really accessible.
Yeah,
Is that true?
yeah, very true. So like with League of Legends or Dota, basically you have a high skill starting, so big learning curve because you have to learn not only the heroes, you have to also learn like armor and items and all that kind of stuff. You have to buy from the shop every time you go back, and you have to know all that kind of stuff. And not only that, but you also have to support one person. They're called the carry, where they basically do all the damage in the late game and win it for you. You have to support them basically throughout the entire match. Heroes of the Storm kind of turned up everything on its head. Now you don't have to buy any items or anything like that. You just every third level you augment your abilities, and then there's shared XP for the team, so you level up together and you don't have to worry about supporting a certain person in the match.
I'm looking at some of your pictures from BlizzCon, and I just want to say that Master Control Room looks pretty
yes.
freaking sweet.
I
I'll put a link in the chat for everyone so they can take a look at the album. But that's really cool. I found it interesting. I was doing some reading on Heroes of the Storm, and it looks like there's a character that is controlled by two people.
Yes.
That sounds just really neat. Like it's a really, really powerful character, and essentially what it is like one person. It's a two-headed character, right, Ben? So one player controls like movement and one head, and the other player controls the other head and can do more magic-based attacks.
Yep.
And it's like an incredibly powerful hero to use, but you have to use it with someone. And then if you're using that hero, essentially your team only has 4 heroes on the board instead of 5, while the other team can have, the 5.
Right.
It's such a neat concept. Like,
Yeah. Blizzard definitely enjoys taking a lot of concepts and just like basically taking what we know for granted with Dota and League of Legends. Everybody has one hero, all that kind of stuff, and turns it upside down. So they released the Lost Vikings, which is 3 heroes in one, controlled by a single person. So you can basically have all 3 of them across all 3 lanes, and you soak XP by yourself on all 3 lanes, and you can definitely get an advantage that way. But they're a lot harder to control, and they're all very squishy as well. And then with Cho'Gall, that's this new one where it's 2 people controlling one person. It definitely gives you an interesting way to interact with another person, especially if you're not on a mic. Like most of the time, people don't have mics, like they're not doing TeamSpeak or anything like that. They just go into the Nexus. If they're going as Cho'Gall, then they have a random person that they can't communicate with very fast. So the only downside to that using Cho'Gall, because he is pretty powerful, is that you are limited to 4 people, so your lane presence is actually pretty nerfed.
Gotcha. It's very interesting. So do you play a lot of MOBAs, Ben?
Actually, not really so much. I got to like level 10 in League of Legends before I lost my interest. I tried Dota for a little while. I even tried, I did Smite, and I did that a lot, especially when I switched over to Xbox One. I did that a lot more.
I have Smite on the Xbox One. I just haven't tried it.
So from this standpoint, like, how much of a financial commitment are these games? Because I just get the impression it shouldn't be a lot, but I'm sure they're making money hand over fist. So there's got to be something.
Right. So most of these MOBAs, they have it where you will get a free rotation of a lot of different heroes that you can try out every week. That rotates all the time. So you don't have to pay anything to experience that game, but it is a slower kind of pace that you're playing. Then like with Smite specifically, you can buy like I think it's like $30, and you buy all the gods. That's what they call them in that game, and you get all of them to play, and that's a one-time purchase.
So
Then there's
is this like a pay to win or it's not pay to win?
uh, it can be considered pay to win because you to get the heroes, you have to pay to get them, or I mean, it's either pay in real money or pay in game currency, which you take a
Okay.
while and level
That's
up.
not bad.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's similar to Hearthstone. You can
Yes.
save in-game currency to buy packs. You can even save in-game currency to buy the expansions. It just takes a while.
Right.
But I having not poured any money into Hearthstone at all, I feel like I still do fairly well.
It's like I've definitely put money into Hearthstone.
Well, so
Let me tell you.
that was my big thing when I started playing Hearthstone is I really want to play the game because it's a lot of fun, but I don't want to spend it.
Just play Magic, damn it! No, I understand.
That's
Magic's
even
the
more
worst.
money.
So
But-
much better.
Yeah,
No, dude, just get the little kids to let you play.
there you go. I could just play with those house decks.
Yeah.
But specifically with I think Dota, I think all the heroes are free. It's just all cosmetic at that thing, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Real by Night in the chat is saying skins are pay only and they are cosmetic. So confirmation
That,
for you.
I think he's talking about Smite specifically there.
Okay.
Just because I played with him on Smite a lot, and that's one of his I think his only favorite MOBA, if I remember correctly.
He also
And
says
he's calling me
liar.
liar.
So
Wow.
It's probably right.
Look, dude. Magic is not pay to win. I paid a lot of money and I still lose.
he did beat a couple of little kids while we were
I did.
at Extra Life, but little
Hey.
kids.
Whatever. They're the future. They're the future.
Yeah. So at the end of BlizzCon, they showed a trailer for the Warcraft movie.
Yes.
What?
Well, they did it at the beginning. It was
what I
part
meant.
of the opening ceremony. Okay. Yeah, it's been basically building in hype since I think the first BlizzCon is when they said that they were thinking or they're working towards making a Warcraft movie, which was like 10 years ago. It's been gone through a bunch of different iterations, different directors, all that kind of stuff. But finally, they got Duncan, I think Duncan Jones, maybe. I can't really remember his name offhand, but got a really good director. Got a lot of people that are actors that actually have played the games, grew up playing the games. So they're really invested in it emotionally, which typically transfers into a good acting for that. So I'm really excited to see it. Everybody was whooping and hollering in the opening ceremony when they saw it. It was a lot of fun. People yelling for the Horde, for the Alliance. A lot of fun.
Woo!
I heard a lot of people complaining about all the CG in it, though. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I personally like CG. In college, I did a class on computer animation, all that kind of stuff. I love doing that. So I see really good animation as a really good art form, all that kind of stuff. However, I can sort of understand people's thoughts on it because they want to see more stage effects, having such a high budget. Because the Warcraft movie, they say, is their budget is bigger than the Lord of the Rings and Avatar combined.
Holy
Wow.
shit!
Yeah, yeah. So we're talking
That
about
is
a
a
massive
lot
budget.
of money.
So a lot of
They're
people
not
are,
making it back.
yeah, they're not
Sorry.
making it back.
I'm gonna call it now.
They are a lot of people are annoyed that since they had such a high budget, why couldn't they have done stage effects? Because that would have been a lot better in some aspects.
Yeah, but how are you going to make a Warcraft movie and not have it be CG? Like, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like that if that movie is going to succeed, it's going to be in CG.
Right.
Eh.
I mean, there's a lot of things. I mean, the game is all computer graphics, anyways, so it has its roots in computer graphics. So it's pretty easy to kind of take that same idea, just build better models, almost. There are some I think the actress. I can't even remember her in-game character or in movie characters, but she is the one of the few people that is actually stage like she's wearing green makeup all over with tooth coming out, whatever. They wanted to make her seem very real, and I guess whereas like Orgrim is just a voice with mocap movement, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I mean, it'll seem weird, I think, but I mean, with this high budget, I think they can do a really well job with CG.
I agree. Real quick before we move on to the next topic, I just want to go to the chat. Recruit thinks the CG will turn off anyone who wouldn't already be interested in it because it's a movie adaptation of a game. Which, maybe he brings up a good point. Movie adaptations of games are not usually very good.
One comes to mind of In the Name of the King.
But, who knows? Maybe we can come up with something better with this one. But I think that's a good place to stop. Thank you so much for talking about BlizzCon, since none of us could go. I want to move on to my topic. My topic is cartoons, essentially. Over this last week, I have gotten really, really hyped for Star Wars, and just want to consume new Star Wars content. And I've consumed most of the Star Wars content that is out there, but I had not started watching Star Wars Rebels. So I started watching that, and I'm really enjoying the show. And I'm sitting here like, I am a 26-year-old adult sitting in front of a TV watching a Disney Channel cartoon. And, I am curious from my own standpoint if you think there's an age where people should stop watching cartoons. And Ben, I'm gonna start with you.
Put me on the spot.
Putting you on the spot.
All right. I guess it kind of depends on which cartoon we're talking about. If we're talking about Arthur, which is totally like kids kind of content, it seems kind of
AARDVARK.
Aardvark, yeah.
I don't think I ever watched Arthur, so that just went.
I grew up on Arthur, but I mean, there's other ones out there. But
I
basically,
grew up on Benjamin Blümchen and the Smurfs and X-Men.
Well, I mean, even those kind of seem like you could watch those as an adult and be okay. But like Arthur or like these other ones that are like four-year-old programming, Teletubbies, if that was like a cartoon kind of thing, that kind of content, I would see like an issue if you're an adult watching that. But stuff like Gravity Falls, I watch that right now, and I love watching that movie. It's a Disney cartoon thing. It has a lot of adult content in it, even though it's very kind of kids friendly. So I watch it. I love it. I don't see a problem with it.
Good. Sam, how about you? Do you think there's an age where people
Nope,
should...
zero. Not age. No age.
Don't even have to finish the
Forever. I mean, like you have to think. Okay, so from a real perspective, like I've been part of essentially the anime industry for like at least 14 or 15 years now, and the thing is like that's never gonna die for me, and I don't think it should ever die for anyone. That being said, like I feel like there's a good smattering of content that's animated for pretty much every age. Like South Park, for example, I think is probably an example of the best satire that's out right now, and I watch it every week. And the thing is, it's like I don't think it's ever. If I'm 60, I think it's still going to be relevant because, well, assuming they're still making it at that point, it's still going to be relevant. And then I think even some of the kid stuff, like if you watch some of the content out there, it's starting to get to the point where they're going to layer in jokes for adults that if the kids don't get it, they don't get it. And if the adults get it, it's funny. Mm-hmm. So like a great example is like Avatar. Not the James Cameron Avatar, but Avatar: The Last Airbender.
God, that show's so good.
And Legend of Korra. And both of those have like small hints of adult themes in there, but they don't make it uncomfortable for kids, but they still make it interesting for adults to watch. And yeah, like it is a really solid series that's very much animated, very much, you know, something that I think people are going to keep watching.
Absolutely.
That cartoon is the only cartoon or only TV series that have actually spent money on is Last Airbender and Legend of Korra.
Yeah, because it's so good, and only like the first only like the first
I'll be
two
right back.
seasons of Legend of Korra are even on, um, like Amazon Prime. Oh my God, he has Appa. Oh
Oh
my
my god.
gosh, that just makes me so incredibly happy. Sam, I need to
Yeah.
know where to get one of those.
I have a plush Appa. I have a
Ah,
plush Appa.
I want one of those. Holy shit!
I actually have a Pabu and a Momo as well. They're just
Oh
much
wow.
smaller. You can get this at the Nickelodeon Universe store at the Mall of America.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's local
Um,
for me.
Alternatively, that's true. It is local for you. Alternatively, they are available on eBay. Quality will vary, as my friend has taught me an important lesson. So yeah, this one is the bigger one.
Gotcha. No, that's really, really quite awesome. Um, so, I mean, there's obviously you brought up a good point. There's a lot of different content out of there. There are just flat out adult themed cartoons. One of my favorites being Archer. Um, and then there are, you know, cartoons that are out there for kids, but you're absolutely right. You start to see a lot of just adult themes in them that are kind of layered into the kids part of it. I think that's one of the coolest things about getting into some of these cartoons. It's like it's more content for things that you enjoy, especially for my reasoning for watching Star Wars. Is I want more Star Wars in my life right now, and it's the only new Star Wars until Battlefront comes out tomorrow. Oh my God! I forgot that it comes out tomorrow. I'll probably be able to play it right after this stream.
Did you
Ah!
not buy Fallout? That's probably why.
No, I did buy Fallout, or I didn't buy Fallout. Kenny did, but I've been playing Fallout.
Oh, you're gonna betray Fallout. No, it's cool. I
Uh,
mean, I would be much more in tune if it was. Yeah. Anyways,
but you know, Recruit in the chat. Oh, geez, I thought he did. Maybe I made it up in my head. It brought up, you know, going back and watching some Disney movies, even is just like, oh my God, how did I not get this as a child?
so
So
true.
much content in Aladdin.
Oh my goodness.
But it's just like there. It's amazing how well I feel like some of these cartoon companies really. Um, Jesus Christ. What's the word I'm looking for?
Right?
Integrate adult themes with the more childlike children's content. You know, something that I was surprised
Children's
of.
content.
Yes, childlike children's content. One of the things that I thought like changed in cartoons was that people don't really die in kids' cartoons anymore. But as I'm watching Star Wars, um, everyone dies. Like they're just like shooting people with blasters, slicing them up with lightsabers, you know, force choking, and all that sort of stuff is happening. Granted, they're stormtroopers, so maybe the kids aren't getting that there are people under them, but people are dying. Um,
Right.
Wow. Way to bring it down. Way to bring it down.
um, and I mean, I feel like the same is true with the Batman shows. It's like they couldn't shoot with real guns, so they shot with laser guns.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the freeze rays, laughing gas,
Yep.
you know, Batman-y things, batarangs. Um, but some of the things that I find awesome as well is that a lot of cartoons like Batman have even grown up with me. It's like the regular Batman animated series, while I will argue is one of the best freaking animated series ever. Um, has kind of grown up with the animated movies that DC makes. And they're much more adult themed. I mean, there's death, dismemberment. Anyone else want to add anything to what I am saying?
No, I mean, I get your point, and I think there's a lot of interesting crossover too, because you know, any of you watch anime. Long story short, this guy has a notebook. Whoever's name he writes in it happens. Manga, which got converted into an anime series. What?
What?
Oh, yeah, yeah. And the thing is, like, then they made a live action movie out of it. And it's like partial CG, partial regular stuff. Oh, losing Sam's audio.
Yep.
Um,
Mike is losing your audio a lot. I hear you fine, which is kind of weird.
guys.
Okay.
I completely like lost both of you. So
Oh, well, there we go.
Okay, yeah, so I was talking about Death Note, where the guy gets a notebook, whatever he writes in it, and the method of death, that person will die in that way. Police are going after him, but they made a live action version of it, and they put like a CG like God of Death in it, and it's kind of just really interesting because you can see how these themes really play out, but in a way where I guess like before you had some bigger budgets and some like more ability to do high quality CG, animating the story just made sense. It's just a cheaper way to tell the story and still get the same points across. So I think it's just a medium. It's just an art form. It's like if we were just shot a movie through a filter, like through the cartoon filter, through the 8-bit filter, be about the same, like except for the quality. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Recruit says live action anime stuff is the worst.
I don't know that Initial D movie. No, it was bad. It was bad.
I saw that Death Note movie and I was not impressed. The anime series was so much better.
No, it was. And a lot of that just has to do with how much you can tell a story in a movie versus a 70 or 50 episode anime series.
Yep.
That's all fair. So Ben, favorite favorite animated series currently on air. Let's go.
Favorite animated series currently on air. Oh my god, what am I even watching that's animated right now?
Right?
Yeah, I mean Star Wars Rebels is the only thing I'm watching right now that's animated. That's on air right now. So I guess that would be what I'd have to say. Oh, you know what? Archer. Archer is. I watch a lot of Archer and Family Guy, but I think Archer is easily my favorite. I love Archer.
Okay,
That show's
that's
great.
fair. Brain.
Yeah, as for me, there's not many currently that I'm watching either. I actually don't participate in the whole animation domination, stuff or whatever. So I miss out on that. But what I am watching right now that I'm actually really interested in, it's not technically broadcast, so I don't know if it's technically on air, but it would have to be BoJack Horseman on Netflix.
Okay, that's fair.
Oh
That's
no,
fair.
I think that's
That counts.
that counts for sure.
Okay.
That counts.
No,
No,
I haven't watched any of that. Is it good?
Oh, it's so hilarious in my opinion. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what I need.
No,
done very well.
I think for me, I've already kind of said it. It's South Park, closely followed by Bob's Burgers. Yeah,
That's the same. That's what H. John Benjamin or whatever his name is. Also,
do not know what the name is.
but it's the same voice actor as Archer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. No. The show is hilarious. The writing is funny, and like, there's a lot of puns in the show. So like, if they go to the diner or the burger place, like every burger of the day is like a little bit of a pun,
Mm-hmm.
and there's actually like people trying to work on like a cookbook to actually cook those burgers, and it's freaking hilarious. The show just hits like this really interesting sweet spot of like, it's funny but not too funny, and it's ridiculous but not too ridiculous.
Yeah. No, I love puns, and I feel like Archer is very similar to what you're saying. It's like it. Yeah, just I love that show a lot. We do still have a little bit of time left on this topic. So what I want to ask you guys is, we've talked a lot about cartoons in general, but I want to talk about bronies.
Oh God. Oh, freaking God.
I actually have two real life friends that are bronies.
What
Only
is the
two?
appeal?
I definitely have.
Like,
more
Well,
than
only two that have come out and told me that.
So what you're saying is you know two uncloseted bronies.
Yes.
So there
exactly.
could be some closeted bronies in your life that you just don't know about.
Probably are actually.
So it's like not to like shit all over a show, but what is it about that show that has these adult men so interested in it when it just seems like
So I understand your question. My problem with it is neither Brain or I are bronies. Therefore, I can't tell you what the appeal is.
tell me now.
I have seen the show a couple episodes. Like I will try anything a couple times to give it a go, but it wasn't for me. But from what I saw, it had a lot of interesting dialogue and some good jokes. It just I couldn't get past it where it was a bunch of talking ponies. I mean, it wasn't my thing.
No.
They make for good memes. I think that's appealing to me.
I don't think I've seen a whole lot of My Little Pony memes.
Well, you do not have
afraid-
enough brony friends.
I'm
my
afraid to
friend.
Google that right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what is your thought on the whole brony thing? Like, what is your opinion? I should say, Sam.
I mean, the short answer is I think it's great. I mean, like, it's this prime example of like people who are into something because they're into it and fuck everything else. Like, no, you think it's weird? Whatever. I don't care. I'm into this thing. So, in one sense, I think it's great. I wish I understood it a little bit more to be able to explain to you why it's great. But, like, you know what? So what? So what?
One of these days we'll do this topic again, but I'll find a real brony to interview.
I mean, I kind of feel like and again, this is like not me knowing anything about it, but like to me, maybe it's like the Sex and City equivalent for men. Like when you're like you're so Samantha, you could be like you're so whatever pony. Like I don't know any of the names, but I feel like that works. I know one is like Derpy something. There's a Derpy Hooves, or I don't remember which one it is. They featured it on an episode.
I think there's Rainbow Dash, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. That's
Okay, I just hold on one second, everyone.
Derpy Hooves.
I'm getting My Little Pony names from the control room. And he's just yes, there is a Rainbow Dash. Twilight Sparkle. Is that what you were saying?
That sounds like one. Sounds like one.
So there is. Wait, what was that? Applejack. So
Okay, that's less. That's
that's the country one. That's the country pony.
Yep.
So yeah, that's fun. I'm glad someone here actually knows what I'm talking about. Recruit says isn't one of them Clarity. I don't even know. I could make up some names. I'm sure. Double Rainbow. I'm sure that's one. But I just find it interesting. I have nothing. Like Sam says, you like what you like. I'm not gonna judge you for it unless you're really weird and creepy about it. In which case, I will judge you about it.
Oh, Rainbow Dash, Twilight Sparkle, Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie, Rarity, Applejack, Derpy Hooves.
I thought
Princess
Fluttershy
Luna.
was like a photo buying website.
Yeah.
That's Shutter.
Princess Celesta,
something.
Sweetie Belle, Spike, Big Macintosh, Apple Bloom, Snips, Mrs. Cupcake, Scootaloo, Pound Cake,
Nerdy Nights of the
Grant
Radio.
Smith, Snails.
So you know what? Rather than read more names of ponies, I think let's move on to the last topic of the evening.
Fine.
Sam's
The
topic.
best
Sam,
topic of the evening.
what do you want to talk about today?
So I think like at this point in time, and a lot of this is inspired by this idea of like keeping a TV diary. So I'm also, for any of you who know me at all, I'm like a low grade audiophile. And by low grade, I mean I've probably dumped more money than most people have in audio equipment, just not as much as everyone else has. So you can see the mass drop AKG K7XX is on my head. But no, I guess my question is like, I started to think a lot about like consumption of music because I think when we were doing Extra Life, it was like, oh, like, do you use Apple Music? Do you subscribe to it? Like, why would you use it? That sort of thing. So, as someone who, goes and downloads 24-bit FLAC files and puts them on an audio player like a crazy idiot, like, I'm a little bit different.
Well,
Like,
I will say the FLAC files do sound a lot better than
Yes.
anything else that you can get, especially if you have a good set of.
are you? Yeah, I was gonna say like that's the thing.
I mean, if you don't have the right equipment to listen to something like that, it doesn't fucking matter.
So here's my question: how do you guys consume music? Like, how do you listen?
Um, yeah, so I am going to go ahead and just go out there and say I don't listen to music. Not on a regular basis. Like there are times where I do, but a lot of the music that I like listening to are it's I did a lot of theater, so I like listening to a lot of theater music. I like listening to a lot of like a cappella covers of things. I like stuff like that. So there's not really a whole lot that I'll just sit down and just listen to. I like to listen to music and be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this person is hitting this note," or things like that. That's kind of where my music thinking comes from. But what I do a lot of is I consume a lot of podcasts. Like that's the number one thing that I listen to, and I walk to and from work every day. So I've got plenty of time to just listen to podcasts, and that's probably
Okay, so that's a boring answer. Other Ben, go.
All right, so this probably will actually help with your topic, but I actually pay for Google Play Music every month, and I stream my music. There are days where I'm a lot like the other Ben, where I just don't want to listen to music. So today actually, I did bring my unfortunately my car that I just got because I had to replace one does not have an auxiliary input, so I had to bring my trusty UE Boom on the road today. Yeah. And but I ended up didn't using it until on the way home from work. So at that point, like it was more of a wind down kind of thing.
So are you now like a YouTube subscriber? YouTube Red?
Yes, I have the ability to watch
Okay.
or listen to YouTube thing with my phone off.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
about
'cause
all I
you-
know from YouTube.
music. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Apocalyptic Zombie brings up a good point, or says said record player, and that's kind of my preferred listening style now. So I finally bought a record player. I've actually bought records. I think I was partially inspired. If you guys haven't seen it, there's a Mondo Tees, which also releases records, has this like gorgeous 4 LP version of the Last of Us soundtrack.
oh my
And art
God.
is just amazing, and I don't have it yet. I pre-ordered it. It should arrive next month. But like to me, that was part of it, right? It's like I wanted to collect something. It had nothing to do with like the quality that I think you're gonna get from a record player. Like I didn't buy like the special super tips and mod all my things, but I just like listening through music now.
Well,
So
the interesting thing about vinyl in general is it does give a unique sound, though, and I think that is one of the really cool things about it is you can enjoy music from someone and hate listening to the vinyl, or vice versa, because I mean the vinyl will. I like vinyl sound, and it cannot be replicated by anything else. So I think it's a really neat thing that people do. I would personally never collect it because that's just not
don't
me.
listen to music.
I don't listen to music.
like a loser. I'm just
But
kidding.
no, I mean, there's some sound that's better when you hear it from that kind of thing.
Well, it's interesting. So, like, I saw a piece a little while ago from like the British UK or the UK music labels, and I guess in the last year they made more money from vinyl sales than they did from YouTube, which is just fucking astonishing considering how much stuff gets played on YouTube as a consumption side. it's I don't get it. I mean, I think it's great. Like, did you guys know that Urban Outfitters is the largest retailer of records in the U.S.?
I honestly didn't even know that Urban Outfitters sold records.
No.
Yeah.
I
That-
can also
that-
say I've never walked into an Urban Outfitters before.
So I've only walked into an Urban Outfitters to buy records, which is just weird. And they've got like weird exclusives too. But yeah, there is this something that's really nice about it. And then for me, as someone who kind of does like collecting things and likes this physical thing, I feel less cheated by buying a record than I do from like a CD.
Mhm.
Like, I'd rather pay $20 for a record than like get a CD for like whatever. Because at that point it's just digital, right? Like I can download that, to your point of how that goes.
Yeah.
So I guess in that same context, so I know Brain subscribes, but what do you remember the last time you paid for music?
Yes, I do. Because when I find musicians on YouTube that I like, I do go on iTunes and buy their stuff, or I go on that one website where people can post their music.
Soundhound?
Not SoundCloud.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
That is a place where people post music.
You know what? I'll come back to what the service is called, but I do buy music from artists that I find talented because I want them to continue making music.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. How about you, Brain? Outside of subscription service, do you remember the last time you bought music?
There are a few times. So like typically, at least how it is now, I find I
Bandcamp.
discover music.
That one.
Bandcamp,
Damn
That
it.
one time when Ben was at Bandcamp.
right?
No, that's
no.
the name of the music thing.
I understand. I understand.
Sorry.
Sorry.
But basically, I use Google Play Music mostly to discover music. And when I do find something really interesting, specifically the one I can remember right off the top of my head, would be Caspa. He's a dubstep artist. I bought one of his stuff, I don't know, probably 7 years ago now, and listened to that over and over again. But I bought it on iTunes. So definitely not a physical thing. I'm very limited in space. This is my only room that I get to store stuff. So
Yeah, no,
Go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
I was gonna say the chat's talking about records and what places are selling them and how what subscription services are out there. There in the U.S., I mean, I have been bombarded with some on Facebook where it's like, pay $23 a month, we'll send you a record, which is I don't know if I trust that. That seems really random because I think music in that context is not just like a consumption good. It's not like a cheese of the month or a wine of the month where you just drink it and you're done. Like, you've got this record, you're holding on to it. So
So is it like, but it's not like Netflix for records. It's like
no,
Loot Crate for records.
and like Netflix for records, like I don't think would really work. I mean,
Yeah, I feel like that's
in many ways.
Yeah.
But so, Brain, when you talk about discovering music on Google Play, like how are you discovering the music? Are these just suggestions or like listening to a playlist that updates or?
So with Google Play Music, the big feature that I like, well, I mean, in general, you have the ability to create your playlist and all that kind of stuff, find a song you like, but you can also start a radio based on that playlist, album or song. That's kind of your default one or whatever that you find in most streaming services. But with Google Play Music, I love their I'm Feeling Lucky radio. So like in Google search, they have I'm Feeling Lucky, find you the best the site that matches your topic. This is the same kind of thing. It knows your playing habits and knows the songs that you give a thumb up or repeat over and over kind of thing, and finds you new songs or that plays those type of songs for you without having it kind of is your own I don't even know the word, but basically it picks out the music for you so you don't have to, and makes it easier to listen and consume the music.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's one topic that kind of really got highlighted when whatchamacallit, when Apple Music launched, and I kind of tweeted about this earlier today as part of the topic, but you know, so Jimmy Iovine from Interscope Records has this like firm belief that music needs to be curated, right? Like that an algorithm will not suffice. You have to have someone live picking out the music, figuring out what's good and not. You know, that's in the entire idea behind Beats One Radio. Like, you guys agree with that? Like, does music have to be curated by a person?
I disagree. Like, I had a lot of good feeling with this. I'm feeling lucky radio, but specifically, I mean, music is all subjective. I mean, yes, you can get people that are experts on certain genres that can help you pick out a good playlist and play that playlist. But it's still that one person has to like still enjoy the music, and it's so hard to hit that and enjoyment with somebody else curating the music. It's a little easier with something like an algorithm because they know your likes a whole lot easier than a person can know your likes. I mean, metadata is huge.
I have to agree with Ben on this one. I mean, if you look at music, it's all data. It's notes and chords and all that sort of stuff that if you're constantly liking the same kinds of progressions, an algorithm is going to more quickly find those same progressions in other music that you might like. Now, if someone sat down and really got to know your listening habits, I feel like they could easily come up with what you are, or they could easily be better than an algorithm. But in order to constantly listen to music, I think algorithms work just fine because that's what music is. It's all the same kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, so it's interesting because Apocalyptic Zombie makes a point that you can't have someone that's biased against certain kinds of music. And I think, to be honest, that's where I fall into the other camp of the argument, is that I am that person who is biased against certain kinds of music. Like, I'm going to listen to the music that I listen to, that I'm used to, that I'm comfortable with, and not really get out of the box enough where, like, that's where I like this level of curation. For people who, like, enjoy music as kind of in the purest sense of music, right? So that's where, like, when I had my Apple Music subscription, I think Beats One is still free even if you don't have an Apple Music subscription. But like the best part was they were making me listen to music that I wouldn't normally have listened to.
Exactly.
And it's not a big deal. Like, it's not like 3.5 minutes of my life is not a huge commitment. I mean, think about all the times we failed at Oryx that took more than 3.5 minutes. Like,
Yep.
That was much more of a throwaway than the 3.5 minutes.
Yes.
Song.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in one sense, I like that, but I think if you look at the difference between like a well curated, thought out DJ perspective versus like what you get on drive time radio, which is like, let's play the top 40 on loop. Like, there's a big difference, right? Like, I don't care about. I'll just hit shuffle on my playlist. It's all good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I think like it's interesting because there's all these different sort of things out there right now between like Apple Music, Amazon Prime, Spotify, titles out there. Pandora's still in the game. YouTube's trying to kind of.
Hold on one second, Sam. We're getting some audio issues on you again. All right, go ahead.
Hashtag list all the music services again. But no, I think it's interesting because discovery, I think, becomes the biggest part of what keeps me on a music service or not.
Yeah.
Is it going to introduce me to new music that I would not have listened to before and that I just want to start consuming again? I mean, I don't know how many times I've watched like a TV show, which for some reason or another, did you guys watch Sense8 on Netflix?
No, I did not.
I've been meaning to.
Not yet.
Okay, so like at the very end of the show, near the end of the show.
Oh yeah, cool. Spoil it for me.
Yeah.
There's this scene where there's like this classical piece that plays, and like I listened, and it's a recognizable classical piece. I don't remember what exactly it was, but I was just like, I need to listen to this. I need to listen to classical music now. because I heard it and it just fits so well. So yeah, Discovery, different things. Like I'm a big, as a TV addict, Grey's Anatomy does this great job where they find artists who play like acoustic versions of like 90s pop songs or 80s pop songs, and it's great and it fits in the scene so well. So love music, can't get enough. Hashtag YouTube.
Yeah. I think that's a good place to kind of wrap up. We've been going for pretty much an hour at this point. Sam, are you wanting to BS joust?
I think Mike wants us to joust more than you and I want to joust.
Yeah, I guess we'll joust. Do you want to joust? I
Sure.
just asked that. So this week's jousting topic. This is a great one. We came up with it. We thought long and hard about it, and just eventually it was just like this.
Wait, Ben, what is jousting?
Oh, right. BS Jousting. This is the portion of the show, new thing, where Sam and I debate a single topic. We both get a total of 2 minutes to debate our side of the topic. 1 minute opening argument, and then a 1 minute rebuttal argument. Essentially, once we're done, the guest of the show, that's Benjamin this week, decides who the winner is. And then, of course, you get to decide who the winner is as well by going to www.nkrn.org forward.
I feel like I'm set up to lose right now, just because there's another Ben on the show. I know how you Bens stick together.
It is true. We have to, hold our own.
Yeah, I would like to agree with that, but Ben during Extra Life kind of tried to single me out and kick my ass every game we played. So
Worked out pretty well.
there is that. Anyways, so you guys can choose who won by visiting nkrn.org and voting on Sam's topic or my topic. So this week's topic is plates versus bowls. Sam, do you want evens or odds?
I want evens. Always evens.
Alexa, give me a number between 0 and 100.
Your random number between 0 and 100 is 15.
15,
Oh,
Sam. In
fail.
your goddamn face.
Whatever.
I'm going to make you go first.
Fine. I'm going to kick your ass first. All right. Who's doing the timer?
I guess give me 2 seconds. I'll have a timer.
Right? You got a phone?
Yes, I do.
I have a timer right now.
Hold on. The impartial Ben will be the timer.
All right. Loading it up.
Wow, this is really good talking.
All right. I have it loaded up.
Perfect.
So, all right, great. I guess whenever you want to just say start.
You want me to count down?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
So ever since the era of the Frisbee was involved, the plate has been far superior than anything else. Bowls are just not, they just don't work that way. I mean, you've got a flat surface. That means major surface area for the amount of, I guess, ceramic or material that you're using. You can pile on food into the center and it gets pretty high, whereas on a plate or on a bowl, you don't have that much room. I think plates are just friendly for all sorts of different things. I mean, look, if someone breaks into your house, you smash that plate, you get a nice long shiv. You don't get that with a bowl. Bowls are just curved. It's not going to stab anyone. Try to come up with other things. Plates are more fork friendly. I got 16 seconds. Plates can be far more colorful. You don't see collector commemorative bowls. You see collector commemorative plates. A la Star Trek, Star Wars, what have you. Yeah, plates are superior.
All right. It's up. It's up. All right. And then, you ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
The world has been given many great inventions, not adventions, inventions. And one very multifaceted tool is the bowl. There's so many things that you can eat in a bowl that you can't eat on a plate, like cereal and milk. You just don't put that on a plate. You also cannot eat soup in a plate, which, one of my favorite things during cold weather, like I am currently experiencing, is a nice bowl of soup. And I mean, one of the best things about bowls is it's given moms the best and easiest way to cut their children's hair. You just slap a bowl on top of the head, cut all the way around the edges, and you've got everything that you need right there at home in the kitchen. And I guess I still have 3 seconds, so
All right.
bowls. Real quick.
All right.
I am actually very mad at Recruit because I was going to use the fucking bowl cut in the middle of mine. And then I see it, and of course everyone's going to think that I stole it from him. So goddamn it, Recruit.
All right, Brain. Whatever. Give me the count.
All right, so I definitely did like the whole commemorative
hold on.
plates.
Wait.
Rebuttal. You have a 1 minute rebuttal.
Yeah.
Oh,
we each get
Each get a 1 minute rebuttal.
Right, okay, I forgot about that. Okay, first time here, first time.
No, it's okay. It's okay. This is
All right.
only our second time doing a joust.
Long time listener, first time caller.
Yes. All right, so you ready, Sam?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Okay,
Go.
so since Ben brought up the topic of the great things you can eat in bowls that you can't eat in plates, let me point out some things that you have to have a plate to serve. Pancakes, waffles, the all-ever important steak. You can't eat a steak in a bowl. And who wants soup? Soup is just water. You might as well drink that out of a glass. You don't need your freaking bowl for that. Bowl, and yeah, to your point, bowl cuts. That's great. No one likes a bowl cut. No one likes a bowl cut. You know what's cool? Mohawks. Stand a plate straight up, you got a mohawk. Let's see. What else what other great, long, big foods have to be eaten on that? I mean, really just steak. I'd rather my mom make me a steak than chicken noodle soup. And I don't think anyone can argue with that. Especially not someone named Ben. So I'm going to give you the rest of my time. That 4 seconds. Go. You can have it.
I can have it.
All right, you ready? 3, 2, 1.
So the thing that Sam brings up is that you can't eat steak in a bowl, but let me just bring up the ever popular burrito bowl at Chipotle, where you can get either steak, carnitas, barbacoa, fajitas, or that weird stuff that's sofritas that's like soy and whatever, but no one likes that. You can still eat steak in a bowl. You just got to chop it up nice and fine and mix it in with something, like maybe a nice soup. You can put some beef in some soup. One of my favorite things is, like a little goulash thing. Goulash soup has some delicious, delicious beef in it and is incredibly savory. The other nice thing about a bowl is you can fill it with water and drown your opponents in it, which is probably my favorite thing, especially if you feel like you might be in trouble. You just fill it up with some water. You take your opponent's head and you just hold it in the bowl. And the great thing is, if they try to move back, you can move the bowl with their face. Because,
Oh. I guess I need to watch out the next time I'm at Ben's house. It's not me the bowl.
Bowl to the
If I move my head, he's gonna move the bowl. What will I do? Maybe just lean back.
Next time you're here, Sam, I'm just gonna walk around like this. Like, hi, Sam.
Okay, I'll have my
How's
plate.
it going?
Smack.
All right, Ben.
So I definitely like bringing up the whole commemorative plates. The nice counter argument to the steak was the Chipotle burrito bowl. I mean, I have this all the time.
That was really good. I didn't think
That
you were
was
going.
really, yeah. This is a tough one. I mean, both
that's a
brought up
good
really
point.
good points. I think I'm gonna have to go with Sam on this. Honestly.
Yes, victory.
The clincher was bringing up the whole bad experience with bowl cuts. Bowls did not need to do that to us growing up. I'm sorry.
Yes.
That's it. So Sam, congratulations, you won this jump.
Victory!
But remember, guys, you can still go vote for me on NKRF.org so that I can win. Recruit brings up a great thing. I say we need to judge the plates versus bowls depending on combat situations or food situations. Shiv versus drowning and soup versus steak.
Shiv, absolutely.
Hey, Apocalyptic Zombie brings up a good point. Bowls tend to have a heavier base, so just knock your enemy out with it.
Also has a good point. Can't eat pizza from a bowl.
You can totally make a pizza bowl. People have done it before. And it's actually a dish.
You know what?
This pizza hot dish.
You know what would have been the clincher for you? If you said you can make bacon into a bowl form. Which you absolutely can.
See,
salads are served that way.
But the only times I've ever done it was like a cupcake. So, anyways, guys, I think this is a great spot to go ahead and close out the show. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember, you can find us all over the internet. Special thanks to Benjamin here, aka Mr. Brain, for joining us this week. You can find him on Twitter and YouTube and Twitch at Mr. Brain SIC. That's MRBRANESIC. Be sure to also check out the other cool stuff he does on the Reddit subreddit called Reddit Black. You can find Sam Chen pretty much everywhere on the internet as DJ Fluffkins. No, really, everywhere. And you can follow me on Twitter. I am at BeRidiculous. Make sure to catch me every Thursday night at 8 p.m. for nothing, because that is something that's written in here that hasn't been going on for a while. You can follow everything Nerdy Nights related at nerdy_nights on Twitter and on our website, nkrn.org. Remember, Nerdy Nights Radio is live on Twitch every Monday at 7:30 Pacific time, and you can be a part of the show by participating in the chat like Recruit and Apocalyptic Zombie did throughout the whole show. They were great. It was wonderful talking to you guys. You can also find the show split in videos topic by topic on YouTube at NKR Productions, and on iTunes we post the whole thing, the whole show on iTunes as a podcast. Thanks again, everyone. It has been an excellent night, and I officially dubbed the Nerdy Knights of the Round. Go out and defend the realm of the Nerdy Knights, and remember, until next week, it's dangerous to go alone.